Alright, so here's the supply we're going to need for this project. It's an illustration board, a picture printed in black and white, a ruler, an eraser, a pencil, and some masking tape of some sort. So the first thing we're going to do is move the pencil, the eraser, and the tape away and just keep the illustration board and our ruler. The first thing when using a ruler is that we notice that there are numbers and different lengths of lines on them. So the edge of this ruler is going to be the 0 inches. So we're going to try to find all of the longer lines and put a little line with our pencil, which is going to be at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, and so on. Between each of the long lines, there's going to be 7 shorter lines, so you can even count to figure that out. So we're going to make sure that our illustration board is 10 inches, so you can see the longer line at 10 by 12 inches, as you can see in this video. We are then going to grab our picture, and we're basically going to repeat the same process. Our picture should be 8 inches by 10 inches on the longer side. So here I'm showing you how to measure it. Here I'm creating little illustrations so you will see what we're going to do. So this is going to be our photo, which is going to be 8 by 10 like we just discussed, and this is going to be our illustration board, 10 by 12. So basically we're going to divide both in 1 inch squares. So this is basically showing you how on the shorter side there's going to be 10 slots on the illustration board and 8 for the photo, while on the longer side there's going to be 12 1-inch slots on the illustration board and 10 on the photo. If you look at it in this way, you will see that the difference between the photo size and the illustration board size is a 1-inch border all around. So what we're going to do now is grab our illustration board, put our ruler pretty straight towards the edge of our paper and make sure that it's straight, and then grab our pencil and mark at 1 inch. So figure out the longer line again and just put a little dot or a little tiny line on the illustration board so you can see it, but do not push really hard with your pencil. It has to be just a little indication of where you put it. So then we're going to turn the paper and do the exact same thing on the other side. And I am going to speed up the video a little bit just so you know what we're doing, and it's just going to go by a little bit quicker. So once we're done on the longer side of the paper, so the 12 inches, we're going to do the exact same thing again on the 10 inches side of the paper, as you can see here. And on the other side again. So once we're done at putting all of the dots at 1 inch distance, we're going to use the ruler and connect the dot on the left to the dot on the right. So you have to make sure that the ruler touches both the left side dot and the right side dot, and then you just pull a line. Do not use a lot of pressure with your pencil, because then we're going to have to eventually erase these lines, or they're going to be covered by our pens and we're not going to be able to see them. So by doing this, you're going to create a grid on your illustration board. So once we're done with that, we're going to grab our tape and we are going to basically create a border. So we skip the first inch all around and we're going to create kind of like a frame. And I'm going to show you in a second. Here we're putting the tape because you cannot really see the grid from this far away right now. So here it is. So as you can see, I'm putting the tape on the line, on the first line on each side of the paper, which by going back to our illustration, we can see that it is basically all around the border of where we are going to draw our photo. So the grid on the inside of the tape is going to be where we draw and we copy the photo design. So by doing this, we make sure that when we start painting or using a pen or something, it does not go on the outside frame and we can keep that clean and white. So then we're going to do the exact same thing on the photo. So we're going to put the ruler against the edge of the photo of the part that's printed and do little lines 1 inch distance. And as you can see, I'm using a red pencil so I can see it really well on this picture. So on this picture, you can use whatever color pencil or even maybe a thin line marker to create your grid. So here I am pulling all of the lines. I'm connecting the dots from the left to the right to make sure that I create the grid of 1-inch squares. Here's more of a close-up of both of the grids. As you can see, the pencil one on the illustration board, you could not see it from far, but if you zoom in, you're able to see it pretty well.